Hi, my name is Mitch. I'm with Mitchell Wu Toy Photography. And in early March, Brendan Boyle from IDEO reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in creating a really fun, dynamic, action-packed image using Barbie's Dreamcamper. So to be able to collaborate on a project with IDEO for Mattel, it was an amazing opportunity. I just couldn't say no. I was so grateful. I'm going to be honest, there were tremendous challenges with this project, and the main challenge was the overall size and scale and weight of the Dreamcamper. Prior to this, the biggest toy, the largest toy that I photographed was a Star Wars Rancor, about this big, weighed in at just over 2 pounds. I weighed the Dreamcamper with the 2 figures inside, and it comes in at over 6 pounds, so considerably heavier than any toy that I've worked with in the past. It was a challenge. I love challenges. I learned a lot from this project. Brendan and I, we tossed around some ideas on what this image could be, and we both landed on the idea of having the Dreamcamper leaping over a rocky chasm, dirt and debris being tossed up behind it, super dynamic, super exciting and fun. And I envisioned a rocky, almost like desert environment, something that I can often recreate in my home, in my backyard, if not there, then a local park very close by. But we were faced with another challenge, and that was the pandemic had just started. People were told to stay at home, parks were closed. So this for me was a journey, both figuratively and literally. It's a journey that led me to the mountains high above Palm Springs, the San Jacinto Mountains, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a bit. So typically, I would head out to my backyard, to my stone patio, and I would use these rocks that you see here, set them up in whatever configuration is needed to tell the story, and that's how I would proceed. But as soon as I got the Dreamcamper out here, I could tell that it was way too large and overwhelmed the environment. You can see I set up a Hot Wheels here just for scale and comparison, and you can see that this Hot Wheels would totally work in this environment. Not so much for the Dreamcamper. So it was on to plan B. So yes, normally I'd be able to photograph this image in my own backyard, and if not there, then at one of the local parks. So I was really at wit's end when I could do neither of those things. Thankfully, at around the same time, we got a call from some dear friends inviting us to stay with them for the weekend. They have a beautiful home, a guest house, swimming pool, 50 acres of land high above Palm Springs in the San Jacinto Mountains. On the one hand, it was just amazing to get away from this house and to get a change of scenery, but I was more excited to finally be able to photograph this image and to bring to life the vision that both Brendan and I had for it. I spent half a day there location scouting. Again, it was 50 acres, but literally you step outside your door and you're surrounded by beautiful desert landscape. I identified a spot for the shot. I thought it was perfect. It matched my vision perfectly. Beautiful desert boulders, desert environment, obviously. There were some nice trees behind the scene, and if my calculations were correct, in the morning when the sun was coming up, it would cast some beautiful light rays through the trees and into the scene. So I woke up the next morning at 5 a.m. I was on scene at 5:30 a.m., setting up lights and preparing the Dreamcamper, getting in position, setting up wires under it to suspend it partially in midair to give that leaping effect over the chasm. And as the sun was coming up, that's when I began shooting. It was a gorgeous, perfect morning, and I will never forget the journey that led up to that very moment. Thank you again to Brendan and IDEO for allowing me the opportunity to create this image for you. And I really hope that you enjoy the image as much as I enjoyed the journey in creating it. Thank you so much.